Well, I am Chris Collier. I'm the principal at Goshen High School. And so, after lots of discussions with our team, we decided on setting a benchmark of 80% of our teachers would participate and plan and implement one or more cross collaborative lessons. And so it's been really cool to see it happen this year.
Hey, my name is Mr. Kutro. I teach 11th grade U.S. history here at Goshen High School. Earlier this year, we were working through our unit on the Constitution and on the Bill of Rights. And what we thought would be a good idea to do is to try to bring those maybe headier concepts home and make them a little more relevant for students in their kind of day-to-day lives. And some big concepts about individual rights or things like federalism. How can we make those things more tangible? Working with my co-teacher, Ms. Dettons, we had our students start doing research, looking at current events, but really trying to find a local hook. And where the research went to was start with current events or an issue that's really affecting them, and how can students ultimately make change in their life. So we tried to scaffold a bit, so we created a research rubric and used the Learning Commons, specifically a program called SIRS, Issue Researcher, which took lots of current events or sort of contemporary issues, hot button issues, and curated some sources on either side of an issue. So if, for example, there was one about standardized testing, and one side of the issue had research and columns saying that standardized testing was an essential part of K-12 education, and the other side of it put together resources that said how it took away from the classroom learning experience. So students could understand kind of the spectrum of opinions as well as build their sort of foundational knowledge of the issue, and then from there they would sort of dig in and sort of analyze the sources to come up with their kind of help formulate their own opinion, and then try to kind of take it. A lot of folks want to just talk about mental health. It's such a topic, an important topic for students these days, and how they can kind of improve. Maybe there's things we can improve in the school here in terms of like services or just sort of awareness. So I thought I liked a lot of those because I think that was students talking about their own personal experience.
So many favorites. The one that comes to mind right now as we're talking is, so this year, obviously trying to make sure folks are comfortable. One of our things with our teachers was we had Wellness Wednesday. And so they come in and they could dress down in more comfortable clothes, and it was just another way to kind of get through what we knew was going to be a really challenging year. And so what was really interesting was one of the projects, our psychology students partnered up with our marketing students, and they created a Wellness Wednesday campaign to involve our students in it as well. And so you saw some students really focusing on the psychological impacts of Wellness Wednesday and maybe some things to help students get through some of the challenging times coming out of COVID. And it was really cool to see our marketing students kind of develop this overall school-wide campaign. And so they had social media posts, they presented to a panel, and the panel gave them feedback. I mean, this was a process that was like, I want to say a month in the making. And I wouldn't even say from start to finish. That was really kind of like after the several opportunities for feedback from ourselves, the clients. And so we've seen our students post those things on social media and really take hold of it. And Wellness Wednesday has become a big thing as a result of it. So that was just one of the many examples. I can think of several other ones that were just really memorable, but that one kind of comes to mind right now.
I had a few other students want to talk about growth and suburbanization, which is an issue that I was surprised that students actually cared about, but it really showed how they cared about their community and what's Goshen going to look like 5-10 years from now. Another great idea that we had was a student wanting to advocate for creating a skate park here in Goshen County to help boost sort of opportunities for people in that community to kind of skate and practice their craft. We had every month we would have our cross collaborative sessions to help sort of ideas kind of form and to just sort of talk with collaborate with colleagues. And at one of those, I can't remember, relatively early in the year, was talking with folks in the English department about the final product. Doing the research is one thing, and understanding different sides of the issue, maybe coming up with an idea was one thing, but how to actually like create the authentic product. And so one of those, we talked with folks in the English department, folks in the library, about how to give them an opportunity to make it like authentic. And it sort of iterated a little bit. My idea was, write a letter to the congressperson or something like that. But other folks thought a great way to make it in the English department would be to really try to bring it home and make it something really local, either the school board or the board of supervisors or something like that, and to write something that could be like a speech, or something you deliver during a public comment section. It was mostly a first semester project, a tail end of the first semester project for the research portion. Early in the second semester, English kind of handed the baton off to English, who then helped the students write their speeches, their 2 or 3 minute speeches. And then it culminated, we had students who really felt they wanted to share and felt really confident and wanted to sort of like practice what they would say, got together in the Learning Commons one morning in a few sort of roundtable environments to share their side of the story, what they would advocate for change. And that way it did give sort of students some flexibility if they something that they were a little shy about. Well, we got to read all of them, but if there's things they really wanted to kind of advocate for with other peers, they could have that as a
My name is Doug Callahan. I'm an English teacher here at Goochland High School. This semester we were able to do a cross-curricular activity with the history department where our students researched a local issue that was close to their hearts in history, and then they brought their research over to English and they wrote it up into a proposal, and then we had sort of a mock governmental meeting in the library where they could present those. The fortunate thing from that is that seemed to inspire some civic responsibility among some of my students, such as
Hi, I'm Aaron Marantez. I'm in 11th grade.
yeah, and Aaron and his friends had noticed a lot of problems with the local skate park. He had brought it to my attention, as had some of his other friends, and I was very proud that they took that inspiration and actually made it to a local Parks and Rec meeting to speak their minds about what needs to be done.
About the park, but
It's
what's like,
basically like just a tennis court with a bunch of ramps everywhere, and not like skateboarding has to have flow, and you have to like be able to go everywhere. And the ramps are just like wherever. It's just not a good part. There's cracks on the floor. Like most of the ramps are broken.
And what they've told me is that when the ramps break, they don't fix them. They either throw them out or just leave them there to rot.
So what happened was like some people were spray painting like things, and they ended up spray painting on the rules like that showed out to the street, and they didn't like that, so they were basically like, we're gonna close it. I think we should like raise money, actually like get a scene out there, because right now there's not too many kids that skate. I think we could fix it up and it could be a good park, because it used to be a good park. There used to be a big scene over here. Used to have like skate day and everything, fundraising money and stuff like that. I guess we can kind of like let them know about the culture of skating, because like many people don't really know what it's about or like what it's like. So just give them information like that and like tell them what kind of ramps we want or stuff like that.
And Aaron even spoke up at the meeting about specific types of ramps that would improve the flow of such a small space to make it more usable for all of them.
The concepts that I landed on that as a project because the concepts are tough even for some of my seniors in AP government to really get a handle on, especially something like federalism, which is like, what does the federal government do? What does the state government do? What does the local government do? And I thought it was a really good way to try to pave the way and sort of like teach it in 11th grade, because they're going to come back and learn it in 12th grade. And that way kind of really good understanding.
Yeah, our goal was very successful. In fact, we had 96% of our teachers participate in at least one. And I could say we had 4 or 5 do 3 or more, and we had several in the 2 category. And what's one of the coolest things I've seen this year, so we're going to the end of the year, evaluations and summatives, and seeing our teachers talk about them in our summatives after we have goal meetings with them, and they talk about their goal and how they reached it, and then what they plan for next year. And so I almost get kind of chills bumps thinking about like how the next iteration of these are going to be so much cooler. So it's something that we're going to have to kind of go back to the drawing table and figure out what's the next step, what's the next evolution of this, but I'm excited about what's going to happen.